Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 477. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, hello.
I feel like it's been, I don't know how many weeks. How many weeks did we have off? Like 2? But it feels like it always...
3.
Oh, 3. Oh my God. That might have been the longest break we've had for quite a while. I feel like it's been forever.
It does feel that way.
It feels good to be back. This week on the show, we'll be talking about the action horror comedy Renfield, which is out now on VOD. We'll also be going over some more we're watching on the watch list and new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please remember to send us a review on iTunes if you get a moment. That'd be great. Let's talk about Renfield. This is directed by Chris McKay. I have a synopsis here. Having grown sick and tired of his centuries as Dracula's lackey, Renfield finds a new lease on life and maybe even redemption when he falls for feisty, perennially angry traffic cop Rebecca Quincy. So this stars Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, and Awkwafina. Ben Schwartz is in there as well. Kevin, we'll start with you. What you think of Renfield?
I have a feeling I don't know how you feel.
What a movie to come back to, you know? Like after a little break, come back to Renfield.
Renfield. There was first things first is I didn't really know what this was. Like I knew Nicolas Cage was in it. I knew he played Dracula, but I didn't exactly know what genre this movie was going to be. And I gotta say, it starts off in a way that I hate. I hate when things are just like way too frenetic. Like it's the top speed right off the bat. You got the voiceover, you got a shit ton of action happening, you got so much editing and freeze frames.
Yeah, it's like
more voiceover. It started off way too much. It was just too much. It was like sensory overload.
It's like one of those record scratch openings where it starts off like in the middle of an action scene and you know, you have like a freeze frame with a hang on, let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like that is such a tired trope. Like I'm so sick of that method of storytelling. Like just tell the story. Why do we got like it's not stylistic, it's not fun, it's not interesting. We don't need that type of intro anymore.
Yeah, so start off on the wrong foot, right? Because there's just that, and I'm just like, I can't handle this. This is too much. The movie's coming on too strong, you know? I can't handle it. And then Nicolas Cage turns into smoke and makes a guy explode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay. I hear you.
Yeah. Come back around on it a little bit there.
let's go on this journey together. And that's essentially how I felt about the film, is that it's absolute garbage in a lot of ways. Most ways. Like 95%. And then there's 5% of these moments where I'm like, yeah, this is fun.
I am right there with you. There was so much that I didn't like about this movie, and I think that it just had so many fundamental problems, and in many ways it was just so generic, but there were these little splashes of just pure gory fun, and like, so yeah, I agree with you completely. It's definitely a mixed bag, and I think it's the action that really tries to save this one.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things that you could change about this, and it would work. A, let's just be silly the whole time. Like the whole codependent support group thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Stop. That's so fucking ridiculous. And not in a good way. Just annoying as hell. Nicholas Hoult, I don't like him. I can't stand this guy. I don't know why. Just
I like him. I like him, but yeah.
Awkwafina shows up, and I was like, "Oh, Awkwafina's gonna have a little role as a cop, right?" But no, she's like a big part of this,
mm-hmm.
And that was ill-advised. I think shouldn't have done that. because I thought she was really bad in this.
It's a weird role
And she
for
was-
her.
Yeah, and she just seemed super awkward, like the whole movie. Like it just like the way that she like carried herself, like her posture and everything was just like, I don't know. It's
It's
just such
kind
a
of
bad performance.
I mean, it's kind of like her thing, but yeah, it is strange that you would put her as a cop and in what is essentially an action role. And it is kind of weird because like I think like her character it favors the action over the comedy, like with her character specifically. And I think Awkwafina is funny, and I think that I like her, but I'm just not exactly sure that this was the right fit for her.
And it seemed extremely unnecessary to add the whole like her father thing.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird.
It's just like I don't think we need that because he didn't really do anything with it anyways. He just brought it up like once in a blue moon. Be like, yeah, there's a history here. Just so much of it. But once it goes into action mode, full gore, full tilt gore wise, and you know the story just goes away. You're like, hey, this is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the action choreography is quite good. I think that the action scenes are well shot, and I did like the over the top gore moments. I think that they really did a good job capitalizing on like the Dracula powers in this, and I thought all of the action scenes were clever and fun, and everything else I thought was severely lacking, and I hated everything else. That's pretty much what it boils down to: action, fun. Everything in between, horrible, and I hated the visuals. I thought that it was an ugly movie that felt extremely dated, and in a lot of ways I feel like everything in this movie felt dated. Like the beginning, like the opening scene and stuff, it felt like it was a superhero movie from like the early 2000s to me, where like a Joel Schumacher Batman and Robin or something like that, where everything is like neon, like everything's lit up green in this, and you have these kind of hyper stylized moments, and I just felt like in some of these scenes I should have been hearing like a Danny Elfman, like late 80s 90s Danny Elfman like something like that happening in this movie.
I completely agree, because
it's just
ugly shit.
I hated all the cinematography in this, except again I thought the action scenes were well shot, but like just the color palette of this movie is just garbage to me, uninspired.
So much, there's just so much of this is absolute dog shit terrible.
Mm-hmm. I like the makeup work specifically with Dracula with Cage. I thought that looked good. I thought that there was an over reliance on CG in this, specifically with the gore. Like all the blood and gore in this was CG, and like sometimes it looked okay because it was so over the top that you didn't really care that it was CG.
Yeah. That was one thing that I was going to say, is that we've talked about CGI blood before and how ridiculous it looks, but I love that they kind of turned this into like not necessarily blood, but of like a slurry.
Yeah.
Where it's like all the organs and blood mixed together.
Yeah.
Just sloshing all over the place like a fucking strawberry daiquiri. It's great.
I thought there's just so many. Everything about this movie hinges on this whole codependence, narcissism thing. And I just think, like, on paper, it seems like kind of a fun idea to like put that kind of spin on the whole Dracula Renfield relationship. But in execution, I feel like it just doesn't really work. It's not really funny to me at all. And it's not really particularly entertaining either. And I also feel like they didn't quite capitalize enough on the whole like Dracula Renfield relationship. Like that I feel like there wasn't enough there between the two of them to have such a focus on him trying to break away from this relationship.
I would definitely agree with that too. Now that you mention it, yeah, it didn't feel like there was enough between. It seems like there was more of a character development between Renfield and Aquafina's character than there was between Renfield and Dracula.
Yep.
Which I don't think we needed. I don't think we needed that.
Nope. Yeah, Chris McKay is kind of an interesting director. He did The Tomorrow War, which came out last year. Was it? Well, this says 2021, so I guess that's when it came out. Which is very bad. That was the one with Chris Pratt, the sci-fi one where it's like time traveling. And then he did like the Lego Batman movie, which was quite good. I liked that a lot. And he did a bunch of stuff for Robot Chicken. And he's got he's attached to direct the Johnny Quest movie. So I don't.
Is Tomorrow War II coming out?
Yeah, apparently there is a Tomorrow War II coming out, but not sure how that happened. Maybe it was greenlit before the first one came out.
To be right.
Must be. I don't know. What is this? Is this doesn't say when it's coming out. I imagine that everything's getting messed up now because of the writer's strike.
I just I don't remember this at all. I
Renfield?
don't remember anyone. No, no. Unfortunately, I remember that. I don't remember the Tomorrow War.
It was dropped on Amazon Prime, so it didn't. Okay. It was one of those movies where it didn't come out, and maybe it had some kind of limited theatrical run or something. But I remember watching it on Amazon Prime. It was like an Amazon movie, Amazon Prime original.
I just don't I don't remember this. I don't the pictures that I'm seeing don't jog my memory. I don't remember anyone talking about this.
Yeah, it was
138 minutes long.
It's very bad, and apparently it cost $200 million to make, which is insane.
Completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alien sci-fi time travel movie. I remember almost nothing about it too, which is kind of funny.
It looks like that type.
It is. It's a very forgettable type of generic sci-fi movie. All right. Anything else you want to add about Renfield? Oh, but the thing I will say about Nicholas Hoult is that for some reason his character was reminding me of his character in that Warm Bodies movie, which I absolutely hated. So that was another thing that was like eating away at me the whole time. I just kept thinking about Warm Bodies and how much I despised that movie. Yeah,
there's just something about voiceover.
Oh, yes, I will. I didn't comment on the voiceover. It was horrible. It was completely unnecessary. I don't know why it was in here. I hated every moment. I did like at the beginning when he was sort of recapping the early days and how they made it look like the early Dracula films. I thought that was cool. That was a good effect, and it looked really good how they made those.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been cool to do the entire movie like that. That would have been something interesting.
It would be interesting to do a old style Dracula, but modern action.
Exactly have the modern fighting style in there. That would have been really cool.
I think that's something that's missing. Well, obviously it is, because I don't know if it does exist, but I just want to see, because in the 20s and 30s, they didn't have the technology, to make people explode.
Yeah.
Or have people's heads explode or get punched off. So I'd like to see that in 30 styling,
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Alas, what we are left with here is a very dated looking fucking green and red lit thing that just kind of sucks and is horrible looking.
Yeah, and annoying too. It's just annoying in a lot of ways.
All right, let's go ahead and give this thing a score. What are you going to give Renfield out of 10?
Out of 10, I'll give it a 3.
I'm sitting at a 3. Yeah, I'm sitting at a 3 on this one as well. 3.5, somewhere around there. The thing is, the action is good and it's really fun, but it's not like there's enough of it to be like, well, it's not like Ong Bak or something where it's like, yeah, the narrative sucks, but you should still watch it because the action's really good.
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's not at that level. So
no, because all the bridges to the action are bad.
yeah.
And then Nicholas Holt's not like if it wasn't ridiculously gory, it would suck. But a guy does explode, guy gets his head punched off, arms get ripped off, another dude gets ripped in half. Like that's fun. But if you didn't have that, oh
Oh
boy.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be pretty rough. It'd be really rough. It'd be a hard watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's Renfield. Again, that is on VOD now. That had a theatrical run for a minute there. But
crazy.
I think it's still in theaters, actually, in a lot of places. Right. All right, let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching. I believe it is my turn, if I remember correctly. All right, so I was traveling last week, and I ended up watching a bunch of I caught up with... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to start with Evil Dead Rise. So I was able to go to the theater, check out Evil Dead Rise. It's directed by Lee Cronin. It's the latest in the Evil Dead franchise. And this was quite good. And I definitely recommend Evil Dead Rise, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. It is a good entry in the series. I wouldn't say that it's like, on the same level as the original Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2. And I think that I still like the remake more than this, but this is good nonetheless. I was worried about it. So the premise here is that it turns out that there's 3 books of the dead, not just the one. And one of the 3 books it ends up in the basement of this high-rise apartment building, and an earthquake causes the book to sort of be unearthed, and these kids find the book and unleash the evil, and it gets into their mom and turns their mom into one of the Deadites, and they have to escape. So, it's your pretty standard Evil Dead stuff. There's a lot of really cool camera work in here that harkens back to the Sam Raimi original. Like they did some really clever things with like framing and positioning of the camera and camera movements and stuff. It's a very creepy movie. There's a lot of like kind of crazy jump scares. It's very intense. It never lets up. Which is what you would hope for with an Evil Dead movie. It's extremely gory. Again, what you would hope for with an Evil Dead movie. So yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I'm kind of anxious to rewatch this one. So Evil Dead Rise, definitely worth checking out.
Good to hear. I heard people saying good things about it, and I was kind of like,
I didn't know. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this, but yeah, it worked out. There's definitely some criticisms I have with it. Like, I feel like they didn't capitalize on the whole idea of it being in a high-rise building enough, because for the most part, it just takes place in one apartment in that high-rise and like the hallway. So like, I feel like it would have been cooler if like it took place on like multiple floors and multiple apartments, that type of thing. But it's still a pretty good time. And there's some very cringe-inducing moments in this movie, like very uneasy moments for sure.
I cannot remember if I talked about The Psychic.
I don't think so.
Fulci's The Psychic from 1977?
No, you definitely didn't.
Okay. So this is on Tubi, and this movie starts off with a woman thrown herself off of a cliff, which Fulci likes to do in his movies, apparently. And it looks terrible because you can tell,
Dummy.
100%, like 200% that it's a dummy. Like, it's so ridiculous. But there's a part of you that's like, it's better this way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is it's this long extended sequence of this dummy falling. And anytime the dummy's face hits the cliff wall, camera's got to come in for the close-up, and it slows it down. But it's still, like, even more so a dummy. Like, the effects are so bad. Like, it's not even close. So it's just, like, full-on close-up of this ridiculous, like, bust of a... I don't even know. Like, it doesn't really even look human. But, of course, it scrapes the rock face, and there's blood everywhere. And then the camera goes back out, and it's like, oh, it's still falling. And then it's like, nope. Boom. Second close-up of the face scraping, and more blood. I think he does that like 3 times before the body actually like hits the ground. So that's how it starts. And you're just like, yeah, all right, Fulci, let's do this. But this movie's just really boring. It's about this woman that kind of has this like a clairvoyant, seeing the future type deal. So she has this vision, right? And she's trying to make sense of the vision. And the whole movie really boils down to this. It feels like this. Is a couple things will happen. Just like, people talking to each other. And then it's a quick zoom into her eyeballs, like quick close up. And then like they replay the vision again. Like I swear they replay her vision like 37 times throughout this movie. Yeah. It was just really lackluster. Really a disappointment. The ending is solid, but the journey to get there is just mind-numbing. So I can't recommend The Psychic. It's a huge letdown for me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That sucks. Another one that was kind of a surprise for me was Scream 6. This is out now on VOD platforms. I think it's on Paramount Plus. You can stream it on Paramount Plus if you have that. So this one takes the Scream franchise. It's a direct sequel to Scream 5. So it picks up very shortly after, maybe like a year or something. Yeah, I think it's a year after the events of Scream 5. So you have the same cast in here, which is nice. All the people who made it through Scream 5 are back in this one. And then they moved to New York City, and guess what? Ghostface is he's in the Big Apple, and he's cutting people up in the Big Apple.
Oh boy.
So this is the same directing duo that did Scream 5, the guys who did Ready or Not. And I think that these are 2 really good directors, and I think that they're taking the franchise in kind of fun new directions, and this one's no different. What they do with this one is really interesting, and I think that they're keeping the franchise fresh. I mean, that's one thing that I'll say about the Scream series is that it always felt fresh. Even like I didn't like Scream 3 really, and I think that was the weakest one out of the whole series, but even still they still managed to make it interesting. And this one, I feel like there are some plot issues. There are some definite plot holes in this one that are kind of glaring. And then there's some like kind of logistical things, but they're pretty easy to overlook. And it's where they go with it, the directions that they take. It's fun. I mean, it's a good, solid slasher movie that I feel like we just don't get many movies like this these days. So I definitely recommend checking out Scream 6. It's well worth a look. Maybe one of these Halloweens, you when you do your like Halloween franchise marathons or whatever, you should look into the Scream. I don't know how many of the Scream movies you've seen, but it's a good series.
I've seen 1 and 2, maybe. think I saw the second one. Almost certain. I saw the second. I guess the second of the Prom Night movies. Hello, Mary Lou. Prom Night 2.
Hell yeah.
I never watched Prom Night 1.
It's not. They're not related.
I didn't think so. Also, Tubi. Got this on Tubi. And if you watch it on Tubi, I don't know how it is on Shudder, but if you watch it on Tubi, goddamn is it shit.
The quality?
The video quality is, oof, Lord have mercy. It is bad. But the movie, not as bad. Halfway decent. Kind of crazy. I just love the brazenness of this movie. How it starts off in the, what is it, like the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
In Mary Lou. I love that, like, she's going to the prom, right? She's already hell-bent on having a great time. She's just gonna do whatever makes her happy. She's gonna live it up. She doesn't care about anyone else. But I love that she goes out of her way to stop at the church before going to the prom and doing a bunch of hedonistic stuff. She's just like, let me stop off at the church real quick just to fucking troll on the father, whatever his name is. So she goes in and she's like, oh, I'm going to confess my sins. Talks all the sins, and then she's just like, fucking loved it. I'm going to keep doing it. And then she goes to prom to do more sinning. Like, that's just fucking badass. So immediately I'm on her side. I'm like, I love Mary Lou, and I just want her to have a good time. Because I love her attitude. And things go south real quick. And then, it gets into, what is it, the present day 80s or whatever, and everything's just fucking bizarre. Just a bunch of weirdo kids at this high school. And then Mary Lou comes back, starts possessing people, and it's just a fucking shit show, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very entertaining way. And the climax at the end with Mary Lou's corpse like ripping out of the person's body, like, it's pretty much exactly what I wanted it to be. Didn't let me down. This is
a classic 80s horror movie.
It's so good. Just so good. I just love that.
Hell yeah. By the way, the if I remember correctly, the quality on Shudder is not very good either. Maybe I guess that they haven't done a remaster on this one or anything.
They have to. Someone needs to.
It's I don't know why they haven't yet. I mean, this is a very much a cult movie. Like, this has quite the following, so.
Yeah. And I understand why.
Oh, yeah. I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. I didn't like this. It's not great. It's not horrible either. This was kind of like middle of the road for me. I'm a huge Mario fan. I've played probably every game, even like Mario's Time Machine back in the NES days. So I'm very familiar with the franchise. I love the games. It's still any Mario game that comes out, I pick it up. So this in a lot of ways was a movie meant for fans. The level of fan service in this movie is like astronomical. I mean, it's on another level. The amount of Easter eggs and references and throwaway things that are packed into this is it's kind of wild. Like, just how many, like, you'll see like little tiny references like in the background and stuff. So that's really fun. And I like that they were clearly trying to adapt all of those years of games. And, if you've played a Mario game, like, they're pretty wildly different from each other. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the core mechanics are sort of the same, but like the characters and the worlds and all of that stuff are just so wildly different. And they're somehow able to just kind of pack it all into this movie. The animation is also really good. I mean, the animation looks incredible. Where this is lacking is just the story. Like, it's just really basic, kind of bog standard, what you would expect from a Mario movie. Like, the games don't have a compelling narrative to them. So I guess in that regard, it is kind of staying true to the games. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay, but nothing incredible. But again, like, if you're a Mario fan and you're looking for some nostalgia, like some fan service stuff, one of the things that I liked that they did in this was the score. It's your standard kind of orchestral movie score, but they folded in all of the like popular, most famous Mario tunes, like from Mario 3 and Super Mario World and all of those. Like, they kind of folded those into the score. So like you'll be able to recognize like all of the different level music in it, which I thought was a nice little touch and sounded really good. So I don't know, maybe a light recommend. It's out on VOD, so just give it a look. Actually, no, I don't think it is out on VOD yet.
Never mind.
I think it's going to be on Peacock. It's coming to Peacock at some point soon, if not now.
Wow. Peacock.
Yeah.
Too many services. Because the movie I watch is on Showtime.
Showtime, wow.
Showtime. Through Hulu. Got it through the Hulu.
Hulu Showtime.
Hulu Showtime. Bundle them up.
You got a bundle.
Wonderful world. Wonderful world we're living in now. Gotta bundle your streaming services. I watched A Love Song. Max Walker Silverman. I've been meaning to see this. It was kind of on my watch list for, a while.
Mm-hmm.
But then Ken kind of pushed me over the edge. I was like, man, Ken seemed to really be into this.
Yeah.
I need to check this out. So me and my wife watched this, and I see what Ken's talking about. This movie's just fucking delightful. It's just a wonderful goddamn movie. I had such a just great time with this. Just the vibes on this one alone, just wonderful. 81 minutes, super simple. It's Dale Dickey. She's got her like truck and her little mini mobile home thingy. What is it, a caravan? She's just by the lake. She wakes up in the morning, catches some crawfish, and she's just waiting for West Study to show up. And then he does, and they spend a night together. That's it. That's the movie.
That's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need.
That's all you need. Because it was, there was a point where I was like, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, is this all it's going to be? And then I would say like a couple minutes later, I was like, you know what? I really hope this is all it is. Because I don't want anything else. You know what I mean? Like I really appreciated the no frills, low stakes. Like I didn't want like a quote unquote plot.
I feel like there should be at least one of these types of movies a year that come out that they're just a pleasant watch. Like they're light, they're breezy, they're pleasant.
Yeah, I mean this does have it does have some twinges of sadness in it.
Yeah,
but just like the overall, just the whole atmosphere of this movie is just like perfect, just damn near perfect.
Well, there you go. This Ken's number one. It was up there.
I can't remember.
I don't remember what the number was, but I know it was up there for him.
But I get it now.
Yeah, this is on my watch list. I have not gotten around to this one yet. Unfortunately, one that I did get around to was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, no.
So I liked the first Ant-Man a lot. I did not like the second Ant-Man, and the third Ant-Man I hated. Like, this is kind of garbage. It's the most generic superhero movie. Now, I haven't seen the new Shazam. I heard that one is like really bad, but and I don't plan on watching that. But this one, I feel like there's a couple things about Ant-Man that make it cool. The fact that he can shrink, right, and he can get tiny, and that he can make other things shrink and get big. And that was the cool part about the first Ant-Man. The fight scenes were so cool of like how you could make things small and then make them big, and like you utilize that in fight scenes, and that was like a really cool thing. And then in the Captain America Civil War movie, he figured out that he could make himself big, like giant. And so that added a whole new, dynamic to it where he could make himself giant and basically own everything. But in this movie, the whole thing takes place in the quantum realm. So it's all just like everybody's tiny. And so it kind of defeats the purpose. And of course they still utilize the like shrinking stuff. Like you can get even smaller in the quantum realm, I guess. So they do try to utilize the shrinking and growing mechanics, but it just doesn't work as good when you are in this place that just looks like it's a generic alien world where everything's just purple, and like there's some cool creature design here. Like there's a lot of different like creatures, but it seems like that this one was just trying to it was just like using Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy as inspiration and kind of just pull that same kind of vibe in, but it doesn't really work. I like that MODOK was in this because he's such a goofy villain, and Corey Stoll plays MODOK, which is kind of funny. But I didn't like Jonathan Majors' character as was it Kang the Conqueror. That's right. Didn't particularly like his character in this, and everything else was just super generic and boring, like dreadfully boring. So cannot recommend Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's exactly, I think, what you would come to expect with a Marvel movie these days. Like, I don't know what happened, but they're all just the same now. They're all just so boring. I heard Guardians Volume 3 is good, but I haven't seen that yet.
Wow. But hopefully it ends soon. That's all I hope.
It's not going to end. It's never going to end.
Because that was one of the disappointing things about, I was all set up to watch Sisu in the theaters because it was playing last weekend, but I didn't get a chance. So I'm like, I'll see it this weekend. Well, there's no showtimes because there's 75 showtimes for Guardian Galaxies.
Yeah, that's how it is here too.
It's just like, oh, cool. Wonderful.
And the thing is, I'm so burnt out on these superhero movies that I don't really want to see Guardians of the Galaxy in the theater. Like, I just don't feel the need. Even though I did like Guardians 1, and I thought Guardians 2 was okay, too. I think it's a good series. It's fun, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else for you?
No, that's all I got.
I'll just mention two other ones really quickly because they are definite avoids. One is 65, which is the Adam Driver sci-fi one where it takes place 65 million years ago, where he is like a spaceman and he crash lands on Earth and he's got to fight against the dinosaurs. It's Adam Driver versus the dinosaurs. I did not enjoy this at all. I thought it was terribly generic. I don't know if maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it, but I just thought it was just so, it's just so boring and not fun at all. The set pieces were, not even on the close to the same level as what we saw in like the original Jurassic Park or something. So I don't know. It's just forgettable and can't recommend it. And the last one that I'll tell people to avoid is Fear. This amazingly, bafflingly ended up in theaters earlier this year, essentially tricking people into thinking that this was a movie that was worthy of being in theaters. It is not. This is directed by Dion Taylor. It's the guy who did The Intruder, and I can't remember what else he did. But this movie is absolutely complete trash. It's probably one of the worst things I've seen this year. The script is atrocious. The acting is also not very good by anybody. The plot involves a group of friends who this is set during COVID, so there's like one of the big kind of things with this is it's all about fears, like different fears that we have, and COVID plays a big part of that. Mm-hmm. And like one of the things that there's like a new strain that they find that's like just ravaging people, and it's basically this place that they go, this hotel. It's in the middle of the forest or whatever, and like the hotel kind of like feeds on their fears and like tricks them into seeing things that are like their worst fears. But none of it really works on any level. It's not scary. It's there's like a lot of bad CG in this, and it's just it's terrible, absolutely terrible. So avoid fear. All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. Got a couple things here. Blackberry is one of them. This is the comedy about the I guess invention of the BlackBerry, the meteoric rise and catastrophic demise of the world's first smartphone. Directed by Matt Johnson, friend of the show. I hope to be covering this next week. We also have Book Club, the next chapter. Yeah, so there's there's that one.
Get it?
That one too. What?
So do you get it? The next chapter?
I do. Like it's like a double entendre there. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's pretty much it for theaters. On VOD this week, starting with the 11th, we have Royal Teen Princess Margaret. That's on Netflix. And then on the 12th, we have Wild Beauty, Mustang Spirit of the West.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a documentary. It's like a nature documentary about wild horses. But that title, man. Oh, boy. I think of dream catchers. I think of wolf t-shirts. That's what I think of when I hear that title. We also have Employee of the Month. That looks like some sort of dark comedy. We got Shabu, which is going to be on Indie Pix Unlimited.
Indie what now?
Indie Pix Unlimited. I guess it's some sort of... I guess it's a streaming service. This movie looks actually pretty good. It's about a 14-year-old Dutch Surinamese aspiring hip-hop artist. It's not a documentary. It's fiction, but it looks quite good. Let's see. Also on the 12th, we have The Mother. That's the one with Jennifer Lopez, where she plays a deadly female assassin. Do you need to say female assassin? Why couldn't you just say a deadly assassin, guys? Let's go. It's 2023 here. I don't think we need to make note of the gender thing. Deadly female assassin.
Oh no, watch out.
We also have Oregon Trail.
Wait, like organs?
Yeah, like Oregon, yeah. Not nice. Like the game.
Yeah.
Let's see what this says here. Abigail and her family fall victim to a ruthless gang while making their way across the Oregon Trail. As the only survivor, she will do whatever it takes to retrieve her one earthly possession, her family's horse, from the clutches of the bloodthirsty bandits. I might watch a trailer for that, see if it looks any good. Like the title, like the cheeky Oregon, yeah. Like that makes me think that it might be, kind of goofy, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it makes it sound like some sort of stupid, like horror comedy.
Yeah,
it's not funny at all.
So I'm wondering, I might want to take a look at the trailer for that one. We also have Snag coming out on the 12th. It looks like that's about it for VOD as well. On Blu-ray this week, we got Toxic Zombies from 1980. Man, back in the day when everything was about like toxic waste, mutants and toxic waste.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else we have here. The Shiver of the Vampires coming out in 4K. That's from 1971. That's on some sort of Powerhouse Films. What's it called? Indicator series.
Mm.
And another one of those Indicator series releases is Two Orphan Vampires from 1997. So I guess
two?
Yeah, two Orphan Vampires.
Both of them orphaned.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
Knock at the Cabin is coming out. Hand of Death from 1976. That's going to be out on Arrow.
Hell yeah. Hand of Death.
This is a cool looking steelbook version of Knock at the Cabin, which I quite like the cover of. The Tiger Cage collection. This looks like it has 3 movies in it, maybe? I never even heard of the Tiger Cage series. I love it when I discover like a whole franchise that has like 3 or more movies that I literally never heard of. Like, that's always kind of a fun discovery.
Yeah.
We have The Experts from 1989, Children of the Corn. That's the remake. That's horrible. I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but yeah, that's horrible.
You did.
Yeah.
I just know that you said it was horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. The Sorrow and the Pity from 1969. Unwelcome. All Quiet on the Western Front. That's on Netflix if you have Netflix. Unicorn Wars.
Unicorn Wars?
Unicorn Wars.
I have to look that up.
Shout Factory's putting that out. Looks like it's maybe animated.
Mm-hmm. An army of bear cubs train and indoctrinate young recruits for the war against the unicorns.
All right.
Huh. How about that?
That's about it. What about Criterion's?
We got one, and that's Branded to Kill from 1967. Got the new 4K, but I think this has been on the Criterion for a while now. Just getting that 4K update.
All right, cool. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulse.net and @filmpulsekevin. And if you have a moment, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name is Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.